After installing SQL Server, the server software is automatically running on your computer, and it's waiting for users to start sending commands to the server. If I look around on my desktop, though, you're not going to notice any evidence that it's running. For instance, you're not going to notice any new programs running down here on your taskbar. If I come over here to the system tray, you won't see any SQL Server icons over here either. In order to see that things are actually working behind the scenes, what we could do is come over here to our Start button, and to activate the SQL Server Configuration Manager, which I had previously pinned here. Let's go ahead and start up this program, and I'll allow it to make changes to my computer, and it'll start up here, the SQL Server Configuration Manager. Now the thing that I want to look at here is found underneath SQL Server Services, which is the first item on the menu on the left. And I can see the 3 services that were installed with SQL Server. We have the agent, we have the SQL Server itself, and we have the browser. The main component is SQL Server, right here. Inside of the parenthesis we can see the server name that we put in when we installed SQL Server, so mine is called SQL Server 2019, and I can see its current state, that it's running. If I wanted to stop the server instance, what I could do is come over here to the buttons here on the toolbar, and I have an icon here to stop the service. I could pause the service. And then I could also start the service, or restart the service, with these 2 icons. The other services that we have here, the agent and the browser, are both currently stopped. The SQL Server browser is useful if you want to have other people on other computers connect to your SQL Server instance remotely over the network. I'm not expecting anybody to connect to my SQL Server instance, so I'm going to leave the browser stopped. The SQL Server agent is useful for scheduling tasks. For instance, if I wanted to have a backup of my databases created every morning at 3 in the morning. Then I could turn on the agent and create a job to do that. Again, I don't have any agent jobs scheduled, so I'm going to leave this service stopped. I can always come back in here and turn it on when I need it. We can find some additional options by right-clicking on the SQL Server instance itself, and coming down to Properties. At the bottom, we can see the server status, and it's running here. We also have the same buttons to stop, start, or pause, or restart the server. If I come over to the Service tab, we could see the option here for Start Mode, which is currently set to Automatic, which we could also see over here in this column. I pointed this out when we installed SQL Server, that the Start Mode was set to Automatic. The other options that we have are disabled and manual. With the Start Mode set to Automatic, that means that SQL Server will automatically start up when the computer boots up. If you don't want to have SQL Server running every time the computer starts, you would just switch it over here to either disabled or manual. In the manual mode, you can come and start SQL Server whenever you need access to it, and then turn it off again when you don't need access to the server's contents. I'm going to leave mine set to Automatic, so that the SQL Server instance is available anytime this computer is running. Let's go ahead and simply say OK to get out of the Properties window. So I'm actually not making any changes here inside of Configuration Manager at this time. I just wanted to point out that this is where you would go. In order to verify that SQL Server is currently up and running,